Well, my name is Lawrence Okojaja. I'm a senior advocate of Nigeria. Let me say without any equivocation that there would not have been any need for a state of emergency to be declared in Rivers State. I live in Port Harcourt. I move around Port Harcourt. The state is peaceful and has remained so. So in the first place, there wouldn't have been any need to call for a state of emergency or to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. In the first place, let me say that yes, a state of emergency can be declared in the Federation or any part thereof, going by the provisions of Section 305 of the Constitution. However, it does not warrant the suspension of the governor, deputy governor, and other democratic institutions. Don't forget that this is not the first time a sitting president is declaring of a state of emergency. Jonathan did the same. And no part of the ambit of the government was suspended. So it was unconstitutional for the president to overreach himself by declaring a state of emergency and suspending the governor, the deputy governor. Now, we have a sole administrator, a military sole administrator, so to speak. The sole administrator again is overreaching himself by dismantling the democratic institutions. Just this morning, he has gone ahead to appoint sole administrators of the local governments. He has gone ahead to appoint members of RESEC. These are unconstitutional actions being taken by the sole administrator, and which is not even covered by the Gazette. By the Gazette, wherein the powers and the duties of the sole administrator were circumscribed. In fact, Article 3 of that Gazette says, the state shall, for the duration of the emergency, the offices of the governor, deputy governor, and House of Assembly are hereby suspended. That was the only aspect of the governance that was suspended, no other than that. In fact, that was Article 3 says, the state shall for the duration be administered by Vice Admiral Ibokete Ebas, retired, as administrator, who shall operate on the basis of such regulations that may from time to time be issued by me. In other words, he is not to take any action that is not covered by any regulation coming from the office of the president. As at today, we are not aware of that the president has issued any regulation mandating him to dismantle all democratic institutions and even appointing some others in their stead. So for me, his action is unconstitutional and does not portend well. Rivers State is a peaceful state, and he has even said so himself. I mean, the sole administrator. So all this that he's doing, I do hope will not lead to a breakdown of law and order, because we want peace in Rivers State. He came to Rivers State and so that the place is a peaceful state, and we want to keep it so. Let his actions and the way he's carrying on not lead to a contrary situation. That is very, very true. The Constitution made no provision for the appointment of sole administratorship. And even the Supreme Court said so. And if you recall, when the governor came back, because of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court in the judgment that they delivered, now urged all the council chairmen, all the councillors, to please abide by the decision of the Supreme Court. And they all vacated their positions, and their positions were taken over by the most senior officers in the various local governments, in keeping with the decision of the Supreme Court. Now, what this portends, this appointment of sole administrator, is antithetical